This is an outdoor security camera by Arenti that has 2.5K 4 megapixel ultra high definition recording, plus it has a 360-degree pan and tilt feature, auto human movement tracking, expandable storage up to 256 gigs, IP65 rating, water and dust proof for harsh outdoor use, enhanced night vision, support with Alexa and Google Home, enhanced security with AES 128 encryption, dual band Wi-Fi and much more for only $39.99, and you can find the direct link with discount code in the video description and pinned comment. Be sure to take the advantage while the offer lasts, as the price may change down the road. So let's test it out. The box is quite big and hefty. Inside the box you get a quick start guide with all the details, specs, mounting instructions and the barcode for the Arenti mobile app, which we'll briefly talk about later during the video. A USB type A to USB type C cable, which is really nice and handy, as I can even unplug this camera and plug it back to any smartphone charger in case if I have to unplug it from its original spot and place it in any room to briefly monitor my kids or pet. A USB type A wall power adapter, mounting hardware like the mounting bracket, screw and silicon plug for protection of the power cable junction. Finally, the Arenti OP1 camera itself. Now, I have reviewed many Arenti cameras both for indoor and outdoor, and even reviewed their video doorbell, but by far this is the biggest camera. It's quite bulky and noticeable from a distance if that's what you're looking for. However, the unit itself is not so heavy, as there is no battery inside it like the video doorbell, which is heavy due to the battery cell inside it. This OP1 just looks big, which I think is quite helpful for outdoor use. Now briefly having a look around the camera, you can see these Wi-Fi antennas, which are quite noticeable, as this OP1 camera supports both dual band 2.4 GHz and 5.8 GHz, which is very handy as the speed over 5.8 GHz is quite faster, but the 2.4 GHz has a longer range. Both these antennas can swivel, but only in this range, which is sufficient enough in my opinion. The Arenti logo is at the front and few details on the opposite side. At the top there is the locking mechanism of the bracket. Now the camera itself is separate from the top unit, so the pan and tilt motion will not interfere with the mounting mechanism. However, if you place the camera upside down, which by all means you can for indoor monitoring, you can even put the antennas down so they don't obstruct the view. The only downside to this kind of placement will be if you use this outdoor, there are higher chances of water and dust getting inside the camera, which will be unlikely when it's mounted the proper way. But I have used it like this for indoor temporary monitoring of my kids, so it's pretty cool that it can be used both ways. Now the pan and tilt motion is quite smooth, and the camera sensor is housed right over here. There is a microphone beside the camera sensor. And this is the strobe light with both white light and the IR sensor. At the bottom there are a few vents, and this is the housing for the reset and the SD card slot that is sealed pretty good. Fortunately, this camera can take up to 256 gigs of SD card for ultra high definition recording for a longer period of time. And finally, at the back there is the speaker grill. Now the cable of this camera is short but not removable. It has a USB Type-C female port at the end, which is housed with these edges to prevent any water or dust from entering the port. But the cable itself can be a bottleneck, as for any reason if the cable is worn out or accidentally severed, then the camera will be rendered useless. In terms of specs, instead of me reading them out, just pause the video to read through all these specs. Now the setup process is super simple. Download the Arenti mobile app, available for free both on Apple App Store and Android Play Store. Once you open the app, create an account, which is super simple and quick. I have already created one, and you can see all these options on the account page. Anyways, under the Home tab, on the top right you'll find this plus or add icon, and select the camera from the list. Arenti does have quite an intensive list of cameras. Follow all the prompts where it may ask you to enter the Wi-Fi password, and within few seconds you will be all connected. Once connected, you'll find the thumbnail of the camera. Here you can hide the preview if you really want to, and when you click on it, you will see the live preview. At the top, you can see the signal strength and select the resolution from Quad HD, HD, SD or Auto. Under the viewfinder, you'll find options to turn on or off the microphone to listen or avoid listening what's going around the camera. This is to capture an instant photo, and this is to manually trigger a video recording. Both the picture and the video will be saved locally on your phone under the album tab. This is to expand the viewfinder to full screen. Now going back, the next option is to speak to the camera like an intercom, so you can press this button to talk to whoever is in front of the camera. This button will open a joystick where you can press these arrows to pan or tilt the camera, and it's pretty responsive. I have reviewed other budget cameras that can pan and tilt, but this is really fast and responsive. You can also pan and tilt by swiping right, left, up and down on the viewfinder. That also works when it's full screen. Another cool trick that this camera can do is the intercom sound, where you get option to keep the original sound or mask your voice as a clown or an uncle, which is really helpful, so that way your voice is not being used. But from my testing, the clown voice seems quite childish. I would rather prefer the uncle's voice. Let me know which one will you pick. We are not done here yet. You can swipe left to get more options like audio warning and strobe light. Clicking this will take you to the warning settings where you can turn it on, and you get these three options. Basically, it's audio, light and audio plus light warning. I would personally only go with the light warning, as you don't want the camera to ring every time a human motion is detected. Now make sure the next option is turned on, otherwise motions will not be alerted. And finally, my favorite option, again not seen on other pan and tilt camera, is this one-click patrol. Pressing this one button will make the camera go in all directions, and then the camera will come back to its original start position, which is pretty nifty. And you can even set a time of the day to do this one-click patrol on its own at a set time. Now, I have talked about the Arenti app in depth in other videos, but briefly, under the settings, you can change the name of the camera, share this camera to another Arenti account. Basic information or functions contain all the options, where if you mount the camera upside down, you can even flip the screen, which is pretty nifty. Going back under the video encryption, you can set a password, which is very useful to encrypt all the footage and image. But I would highly insist to read the disclaimer before you set, as once the password is lost, you cannot do anything as it's not stored on cloud. Now going back under alert setting, you get all these options. Under motion detection, you can set the sensitivity. I would personally keep this human detection turned on, so you don't get alerted by unwanted movement like lightning, spiderweb, leaves, etc. This alarm area is not offered on most of the budget camera, but all Arenti camera has this, where you can select or deselect the area, so you get notified only if the motion occurs in a selected zone, which is really helpful, as if you are monitoring a public space, you don't want every human movement to be alerted, so you can specify a certain area and the rest will be ignored. You can also turn on noise detection, and under regular patrol is where you can set a time where the camera will do that one-click auto patrol option as shown earlier. Going back under local recording, you can select either full day or event recording, and even format the SD card remotely without physically removing it. By the way, the SD card will cycle automatically once it's full, so you don't have to manually format every single time. Going back, another cool feature is AI analysis, where once you have paid for the monthly or a yearly plan, you can select people, pet, vehicle or package AI alert, which is really helpful. So let's say if you get a lot of packages delivered, you can use this AI feature, which will alert a specific event only, which is again not an option on many budget cameras. Finally, you can also purchase cloud storage at a monthly rate. You can even set the OP1 camera with Amazon Alexa or Google Home. Now guys, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking around. A like to this video will go a long way to help this video to reach out to a lot of amazing people like you. Now, mounting this camera with the included mounting hardware is super easy. I have mounted this camera in my garage and I literally have the Arenti camera everywhere else around my house, along with other companies like Vids, Babytone, etc. So subscribe as I review a lot of tech. Oh, by the way, you need to hear this audible click when you mount this bracket onto the camera. If you don't, then the camera might fall loose. With all that said, let's move on to the testing part. Let's test how quickly you're notified. So as you can see, as soon as a motion is detected in a selected alarm zone, you will instantly get notified. And depending on your event recording setting as shown earlier, a clip will be saved for that entire movement locally or on the cloud. From my testing, I am impressed with the responsiveness as it's quite fast and instant, better than other budget cameras, and I bet you won't miss out any important events happening around the camera. Plus, you can also use this two-way talk feature to talk to whoever it is in front of the camera, which is really helpful. Now, in terms of camera, speaker and microphone quality, I have set this camera up in the basement for testing purpose, and here are the clips from this camera. Feel free to pause the footage to see if you can read through the print. Here's the microphone test. I'm speaking directly to the camera about 2 feet away from the camera, and you can be the judge of the microphone quality in the comment section. Here's the speaker test where I'm speaking from my phone and you're listening this recording from the camera's loudspeaker about 2 feet away, so you can be the judge for the speaker quality. Finally, the pan and tilt movement does not make any noise at all when those motor moves. I have tested other budget cameras where the motor makes a noise which can be annoying, but this Arenti OP1 is quite discreet with its motor. Also, just for your information, if you have double or triple pane window glass, you won't be able to see through, especially with the night vision turned on, so do not use it from indoor to monitor outdoor. With all that said, here are my final thoughts. For just 40 bucks, this is more than worth it. Just head down in the pinned comment and buy this camera. It's that good, as I have been using it for quite a while. It's weatherproof, water and dust proof with its IP65 rating. I haven't tested this camera in Canadian winters, but I have used other Arenti outdoor cameras for many cold winters, and hence I can vouch for this camera, but I'll stay active in the comment section like all my other videos for long-term performance. What I really like about this camera is the pan and tilt feature, so you can move the camera, which most of the budget cameras cannot. Plus, not just that, as shown earlier, there are many features that other budget cameras does not offer, like the video encryption, AI analysis for pets, car, packages, etc., detection alert zone, screen flipping, full color night mode, audio and strobe light warning, one-click entire area patrol, and much more as shown earlier. Plus, due to the expandable storage option, you can locally record the footage instead of cloud storage. The night vision is pretty amazing for this price point. Also, the video quality is great due to the 2.5K 4 megapixel sensor. The speaker and microphone quality as shown earlier is also great. The mobile app is very versatile with all the options properly categorized for ease of use, and the notification response time is instantaneous. So overall, I will highly recommend this camera for this budget price point. Check out this link in the video description and pinned comment for the discounted price, and you can also check out other Arenti cameras as shown right over here.